If you're the kind of creator who's stared at a stack of HDMI cables, a laptop, and a tiny tabletop camera and thought, I could spend a fortune on a professional-grade switcher, but what if it's just another box I'll never use? You're not alone. The hesitation is real. You don't want to pour money into a piece of gear that ends up gathering dust, and you're looking for that sweet spot where the tool actually solves a problem you face day to day. In the next few minutes I'll walk through why the Datavideo iCast Mini 4K dual-channel presentation switcher might be the answer for a lot of small-scale content creators, teachers, and remote work pros, and why it could be a miss for others. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the type of setup that most people in this space are juggling. You've probably got a laptop or desktop, maybe a DSLR or a camcorder as a secondary camera, and a screen or projector you need to feed. Often the workflow looks like, switch between a live camera feed, a screen share, and sometimes a pre-recorded video clip. Doing that with a simple Alt-Tab on your computer is doable, but the lag, the chance of you accidentally showing the wrong window, and the overall chaos can be a nightmare when you're on a live stream or teaching a class. That's where a hardware switcher steps in. It gives you a tactile way to jump between sources without touching the computer, and it can keep the output smooth and consistent. The iCast Mini's biggest selling point is its dual-channel layout. You get two HDMI inputs, which means you can connect a DSLR on one side and a laptop on the other, and then decide on the fly which one goes out through the single HDMI output. The built-in picture-in-picture (PIP) mode lets you overlay one source on top of the other, which is a huge time saver if you need to, say, display a presentation while keeping a facecam in the corner. For a teacher who wants to show slides and still be visible to students, or a streamer who wants to keep a gameplay feed while showing a webcam reaction, that dual channel can cut down on software toggling and keep the visual flow smooth. Now, who actually benefits from this? If you're producing content that regularly mixes a camera feed with screen content, think tutorial videos, product demos, webinars, or live gaming streams, the iCast Mini can become a central hub. It also shines for small-scale live events where you have a speaker on a camera and a slide deck on a laptop. You can seamlessly switch without needing a full-blown production rig. For those who are comfortable with a bit of hardware configuration and want a portable solution, the unit is small enough to fit in a backpack. This is a pragmatic upgrade over software-only solutions. On the flip side, if your workflow stays mostly within a single source, for example, you only use a webcam and occasionally a static image, or you rely heavily on OB-style scene switching on your computer, then the iCast Mini might be overkill. Those who prefer a completely software-driven approach might find the extra hardware adds unnecessary complexity and cost. Likewise, if you need more than two inputs such as multiple cameras, a separate audio mixer, or a dedicated video player, you'll quickly outgrow the two-channel limit and will have to look at a larger switcher. Let's dig into the practical strengths. The first thing you'll notice when you plug the unit in is the latency. It's essentially zero. The HDMI pass-through works in real time, so there's no perceivable delay when you hit the button to change sources. That matters a lot for live interaction. You won't be caught watching a frozen frame while your audience expects you to respond. The build is compact, with a solid metal chassis that feels sturdy enough to survive the occasional bump when you move it between rooms. The front panel buttons are tactile. You can feel a click when you press them, which reduces the chance of mispresses during a live broadcast. The PIP function is intuitive. A single button toggles the overlay, and you can choose which source appears in the window and which fills the background, all without digging into menus. Another advantage is the power flexibility. It runs off a standard 12-volt DC adapter, which means you can power it from a laptop power bank if you're on the road, or from a regular wall outlet in a studio. That makes it a decent travel companion for presenters who move between venues. The unit also includes a USB Type-C port for firmware updates, so you're not stuck with a static feature set forever. Though Datavideo doesn't promise a regular update schedule, the ability to patch bugs or add minor tweaks is a nice safety net. Now, let's be realistic about the weaknesses. The biggest limitation is the lack of audio routing. The iCast Mini only handles video signals. It passes HDMI audio straight through, which is fine if you're okay with the audio coming from the